The T20 World Cup is here, so let's talk about it. USA ended up running out comfortable winners against the oldest rivals in sports, Canada. Did you hear it's the oldest rivalry in sports because it was mentioned once or twice? The West Indies almost slipped up on the banana skin that was PNG. Normally, a minnow upset is what we all want, but the Windies losing early would have been very disastrous for this tournament. And lastly, Namibia outlasted Oman in a super over after a low-scoring but incredibly entertaining last over even thriller this afternoon. This show is called The Good, The Bad and The Land of the Free, brought to you by Maximum Cricket. This is your T20 World Cup wrap-up, where twice a week we talk all things that are good and things that are bad in this World Cup, followed by something completely different at the end. My name is Matt Hunter, but you can call me Munter. This here is Jackson Latham, otherwise known as Pies or Jacko even. And if you want to stay up to date this World Cup, hit that subscribe button and enjoy the ride that TMC is trying to take you on.
Oh, that is brilliant. It's a hero maximum. On the ground, down the ground, another hero maximum.
Jacko, 3 games into this World Cup, 2 in the Caribbean, and the opening game was in Dallas, Texas. Your initial thoughts on the Cup? Are you happy with the vibes thus far?
Yeah, a couple of points. Initially, it sort of just feels like a soft opening.
You look at
almost
the schedule,
like like a family and friends sort of run through of your restaurant for the first time. Like, it doesn't. Yeah, it feels like we're easing into the Cup. I think none of the big 3 play till game 6. Maybe India, Ireland on the 6th of June is your first game with any sort of real intrigue.
It's 95% of the cricket population will tune in at that point.
Yeah. So it sort of feels like we're in a soft start, and I think you probably just get that with 20 teams. I suppose maybe it's better to have it now and have all the big games later on. But yeah, it feels like a bit of a soft start and a bit of a shock actually that Dallas, Texas is producing better cricket grounds than sort of some of your more traditional ones in the West Indies, which is quite interesting. And yeah, I mean, I've done some pretty extensive research, and cricket's not in the top 5 oldest games ever. So I'm going to push back that Canada-USA is the oldest rivalry in history, because I've got wrestling, running, javelin throwing, polo, and hockey, which I don't think, I'm not certain that USA and Canada were playing each other in those sort of games. So yeah, maybe we'll push back on that a wee bit as the oldest rivalry in sports. But apart from that, feels like a bit of a soft start. And
do you reckon one guy's just sort of thrown that stat out there and not fact checked it, and everyone's just ran with it?
Oh, 100%. Like, it's just ended up on the fact sheet. One of the oldest rivalries in sports. Sort of a bit classic American saying, like, the Super Bowl are world champions and that sort of thing. So it might be one of their oldest rivalries, but I'm not sure if it's a full-time oldest one. But we'll let that slide because the cricket wickets are good.
Yeah, and we're trying to get the pundits involved, so we'll sort of juice it up the way that the Americans know how. I think opening weekend, as you said, like on paper, odd sort of option, sort of like the second day in, we're sort of headlining the event with Oman, Namibia, which actually arguably was the best game of all 3, which we will get into. But for what the schedule had, I think the opening weekend sort of ticked a couple of boxes, all the boxes you could have done. Like both hosts had a good win. I think that's the key. You want the host to make a deep run if they can.
You've got to have USA playing someone, don't you? And
yeah, it should be India.
Someone they could beat is probably Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing. Them getting a win, feel good stuff.
Yeah, someone sort of scoring 300 on them probably doesn't sort of do good for the game in Dallas, Texas.
And we had a super over. So I think, all in all, I think it's been exciting sort of seeing different sort of players playing, different visuals. The quality's been good as a whole. We'll talk about the pitches a bit later on, but anything else to add there, Jack, or should we run into our something good for this episode?
No, I think we just get into something good. I mean, not heaps of content just yet, but I mean, both hosts got a win, so you can't ask for much more to start. Less some massive games, but happy enough, building nicely, I think.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so this segment is just something good, things that sort of tickled our fancy that we thought they deserve a shout out, and then probably the winner or the couple of winners will sort of expand a bit as we go on. Started off on the opening night, Adam Jones from America, chasing 190 odd. USA a little spot of bother, I should say. 80 odd for 2 after 10 overs, needing 11s to win. Adam Jones, 94 red off 40 balls, 10 sixes. Third most. The second and first was Chris Gale, and he blasted them away. They went at 15 and over for the next 7 overs to demolish Canada in the end. That definitely was a highlight of that, sort of set the tournament alight. Some odd statements around sort of if America isn't keen on watching cricket after that, they never will. Don't know if Adam Jones is that box office just yet, but something to if he keeps going, maybe. Corey Anderson back in a World Cup, first ball back in a World Cup for 9 years since he played for New Zealand. He's only 33, which is crazy. The Derek Rose of the cricket scene. He took a wicket off his first ball, which was sort of like typical of his black cap days, where he's the golden arm. PNG just giving West Indies a run. I think it's always good to see. I mean, although we want to see 300, 400 get posted, I don't know if we saw it all the time, it's probably going to get a bit old pretty quickly. There's going to be a few guys saying bring back 10 teams, whatever. So I thought, PNG getting out there, showing they're a decent side that deserves to be here. I think that's cool moving forward. The West Indies and USA winning. I think the hosts winning is crucial for the tournament to get the people going. I think the West Indies making a deep run is massive for this World Cup. Like, as a Cats fan, if we beat Afghanistan, there's a chance, we could just sort of rest a couple of players, make sure West Indies get through, sort of thing. But yeah, that was crucial. The first super over, having a super over, always massive, I think. And then David Visa's performance in that game with Namibia and Oman, 3 for 28 and 21 batting in the super over. And he also bowled, so shout out David. You probably won't win this one, but just thought we'd give you a wee shout out. Jacko, any of those sort of tickle your fancy that you want to sort of expand on? What sort of stood out from the first couple of days?
I think USA's batting's probably going to be the good so far. As you said, like in Dallas, some runs on offer. Like, I think that sort of shows. You and I have talked about, like, I'd rather watch a 140 players 142 T20 on a tough wicket with some good bowling and some good batting. But I think
has to be good bowling.
Yeah,
has to be like world class stuff.
Yeah, but I think for like new spectators for the game, they're probably not going to appreciate that. American sort of closest thing would be your baseballs and home runs and big hits and sort of high scoring games, and that probably is what's entertaining. It's probably sort of similar, like a pitching duel isn't probably going to bring the masses in and new fans. So for USA to score some runs quickly, I think that's exciting, and that's really what's going to show the game, draw some people in. So that's got to be the good, I think, for me. USA sort of displaying, 197, chasing 194 is like a good ask in T20 cricket. You're going at 10s for a long period, and they look like they were cruising at some point. So that's got to be the good early doors for me.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's the big hitting is the most relatable, and it's the most clippable. Like, we're in a social media era. Like, a lot of those sixes could just go straight onto social media, and it's relatable. Like, it's very close to a home run, that sort of stuff. It's hard for Americans to relate to Oman sort of running the fingers down the side of the ball, and it's just sort of it's shot through because it didn't bounce much, and it's like that doesn't make any sense to them. But like some of these sixes from Adam Jones, we're talking like 100-meter plus out of the ground, like it's relatable. Like, you can hear the sound of it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So I
It
think,
gives them visuals, like visuals you're used to, isn't it? Of like home
yeah,
runs and that sort of thing. So yeah, I
that's what it's
think
about.
yeah, it's and that's what T20 cricket became, wasn't it? To shorten up and provide spectacle. So if they're going to chase 217 overs every week, they'll provide some spectacle, which is really good to see.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Something bad. Funny enough, it's the opposite of something good. So we'll try not to be too negative, but just some things that have sort of perked up, I think just need to be sort of discussed or elaborated a little bit, I thought. And it is good there are less nominations than something good. So I think that's a good sign. We're in net positive, I think, which is good. But the big one, actually, I'm going to leave this one to last because I think it's obviously there's something bad. We'll move on to the West Indies PNG game, which I will start with something good, where I thought those two kits were just really nice optically on the screen. Two of the really nice kits just really look good on the screen. I think that matters from a visual sort of thing, like two good kits, not just one, but two good kits. Having said that, some of the PNG helmets need to be looked at because a lot of them just had sort of black lids, and then some of them just had sort of stickers that had their PNG logo, but the stickers were a different shade of black, so you can tell that they weren't like already on there. And I just think that looks village, and that almost undoes all the good work of the kit, the PNG kit. We've mentioned the quality of pitches in the West Indies. I think there's a lot of, I don't know. I just don't like. I don't know about the product if we're going to roll out these pitches, especially at the start. Like I know it's sort of entertaining, and maybe it'll be fine at the later stages, but for just this time, I don't like it. It's just not good optically. I don't like seeing teams go at 4.5 for 15 overs and then only need 6 and over for 5 overs. Like it's not right. And this is a wee tidbit from the Oman Namibia game. Let me just find my here it is from the last over. So this is from Green. What's his first name? Zane Green's innings for Namibia. He got none off 2. He was the keeper. Now, he came in the last over, and at the start of the over, they obviously needed 5 off 6. Somehow didn't do it. They lost the wicket off the first ball. Green comes in. He tries a lap. So he sort of comes over, stuffs up the lap. They bowl wide, and it's a dot ball. Okay, that's a bit of a howler. You only needed 5 off 5. Now it's 5 off 4. The next ball in the slot, he's gone for another lap, and he's missed it. It's hit him plumb as you like. It's given LBW. None off 2, chewed up 2 balls instead of getting Visa on strike. But what made it worse is he reviewed it. So very, very poor stuff all round from Zane Green. You didn't think we'd notice it, but we did. And I would think the obvious winner is Jeremy Gordon over the massive over in the USA-Canada game. For context, at the start of the over, USA needed 69 off 42. Sort of looking good, but, balance is sort of even. And then by the end of that over, they needed 36 off 36. So that's right, that was 33 off that over, which is obviously quite a lot, and the second most in a T20 World Cup. There was 11 balls in that over from Jeremy Gordon. So not ideal. So he started with a wide, then it was a 6, a 4, a wide, and this is where it gets interesting. Next ball, wicket. Caught it deep square leg. The game's sort of turning. It was a no ball, which hurts. And then so the next ball's a free hit. Another no ball. They run a single. Okay, so at the moment we only had 2 balls, and there's 1, 2. Oh, there's a lot. Next ball was 6. Then there was a wide and a 1, and then it finished off. Sorry, this over's gone forever. A 6 and then a 4. 33 off the over. Game over, just like that. So I think as good at batting as USA did, not a great over. 11 balls, not ideal.
No, not ideal. And I mean, yeah, we'll touch on that. That will be our winner, I'd imagine. But I'll just play devil's advocate on the wickets initially. I don't mind it if it's going to be a leveler to a certain degree. I think, like, you still want people to be able to play good cricket. So you still want 150
It is a
to
leveler,
one
though.
sort of
You're right.
60.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't want to see West Indies like lose to PNG because they literally just run in and bowl cutters and they're unhittable. Like, I think it's a tightrope, and I think it might be slightly on the two underdone, or like sort of two leveler, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think if they can bring a little bit more back to them, I think the wickets, especially if you're going to have a tournament this large, it can be a leveler and give some of those other teams a real shot. Which sort of they already have been a shorter format, but if we can, give them a wee bit of a sniff and make some of those, some of those games coming up just that little bit more sort of squeaky bum, sort of your India Islands, your Aussies, Omans, if they can just get, a couple of cheap wickets and make you tune in and go, oh, Aussies on upset alert. If the wickets can help bring that in a little bit, I'm not too against it. But yeah, if it starts getting silly, obviously, it'll be the bad. But yeah, I mean, we'll touch on that over. I think we've spoken about it before, but you just can't be bowling extra deliveries. Like, if you're going to get whacked, just bowl your 6 balls. Like, you just can't be bowling 9, 10, 11 balls. Like, you've given them an extra pretty much over to chase that down. He got himself going, and it wasn't close in the end anyway. But yeah, like another tight over there, and the pressure just gets pushed that little bit further back. You never know sort of what could happen. So yeah, you can't be bowling extra balls, really. And then I'll touch that Namibia Oman, that last over. That's some of the worst death batting I've ever seen. Like, I understand that it's not two like titans of cricket, but like, surely at 5 or 6, you're just hitting the sweepers or, hitting over one guy's head. Like, surely your team's all good if you like slog sweep down long on's throat there. Not trying to scoop twice and missing them both. Like, that's inexcusable, I reckon. And then quite interesting that Super Over's gone for like literally a fifth of Namibia's runs. They got that again in the Super Over. So
It's wild.
yeah, maybe the wickets weren't actually that bad. They just figured they could whack it on it after batting on it for 20 overs.
Yeah, going at
40
21s. Yeah, it's a fair point. You make a good point. It definitely is a leveler. I think if they're playing on flatties, the minnows they're going to have no chance. There's too much power. They're too good at that level. I guess I just think it's tough because as good of a finish the Oman and Namibian game was, I'd say 39 out of the 41 overs were terrible.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're asking too much of these guys to manufacture shots. Like, world-class batters, world-class bowlers could make that potentially interesting. But I don't think that's... Like, the finish is great, which is good. And I think what minnows can bring to a finish like that is unpredictability. Like, I think most of the big nations don't fuck up 5 off 6. Like, they probably just get that done quite easily. But
most club teams don't fuck that up.
Yeah, not the ones I was playing in. But yeah, no, like I was saying, sort of like what made it interesting. So I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's good. It's different, and I think that ultimately that's good viewing. If you want to say the quality's not good, I'm not going to argue with you. But yeah, it's entertaining.
It's a good point, isn't it? It's because you are looking at a 3-hour sort of event, and if only 5 minutes at the end's entertaining, yeah, you do want to have longer periods sort of keep your attention, especially sort of for these these minnows games, which are going to have a lot of neutral viewers, they do need to be entertaining throughout, not just in the last sort of 15 to 20.
Well said. Well said. Anything else, or should we move on to our free section?
No. Pretty good kit all round, actually, to start.
Happy enough. I will. I have sort of. This is on our socials. I have sort of done a poll on everyone's kit, and when I get through all the kits, I will sort of rank all the kits based on what the public think. Some of it will shock you. I will. It's definitely going to be quite interesting. So do follow along at Maximum Cricket. So yes. So the free section, which is I just wanted to tie it into America. So the land of the free. That's basically what I said.
Not bad.
And it's just it's pretty much an excuse for us to sort of talk about whatever we want. If something interesting happens, we're going to sort of save a whole segment for it. If not, we might play a game. Today we'll play a game for our Jacko. So Jacko, you are on your lonesome for the top 10. So how that works at home, if you haven't been here, I have a list. The list is the top 10 of something. So this one is going to be the most runs in T20 World Cup's history. Now, Jacko doesn't know that, obviously, because he can't look that up. But he gets 3 lives, so he can guess it. When he gets one wrong, that's a life. And he's going to get a clue at the start. And then every time he gets one wrong, I'm probably going to help him out again and just sort of speed that up. So, Jacko, how do you think you're going to go by yourself? No luxury.
Well, I'm really unsure. I feel like I was pretty good at getting 7 to 8 and then missing howlers, which sort of really helped having that extra person there. So I might end up psyching myself out and try to just think too obvious and get a few wrong. But we'll see how we go. Confident.
I think this is very doable.
It's all sort of recent stuff.
These are all it's all recent stuff. So there's all household names basically. So I'll give you the nations representative of the top 10. So we've got 2 Indians.
Yeah.
We've got 2 Sri Lankans. We've got 1 West Indian. We've got 1 Australian, 1 Englishman, 1 Bangladeshi, 1 South African, and 1 New Zealander. Are you ready?
So this is top 10 at T20 World Cups.
Yeah. Try not to search that into your Google bar.
Just confirming.
Just wrap it up.
Right,
So
okay.
we're ready.
Coley's got to be 1.
He's number 1. Easily. Easy one. Average is 81.
Yeah, that was. I'm going to go Indian straight away and just Rohit Sharma. He's played at every single one. It's got to be on there, doesn't he?
That's an obvious one. Yeah. So there's 2 Indians. So that's 4.
There's probably your 2 gimmies. NZ. I'm going to go. NZ. I'm just going to have to go BMAC.
It's not BMAC. So that's 1. I would say. Think for the New Zealander. Think about someone that has been in that sort of situation, like been in that team a long time, just through matches. One of our premier players.
Do I want to guess and get to? No, it's got to be Kane then, doesn't it? Just always there,
Kane. Yeah,
always good at batting.
He sneaks in at number 10.
Yeah, it does make sense. Probably averaged. I'm going to say like 37, maybe not 37, but average like maybe low 30s, high 20s, striking at 115 or something, I reckon.
Pretty much bang on 33 at 113. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
That'll get you on a list. SA. It's hard, isn't it? Because you think a big name and then you also think about guys that could be on there. But SA, I'll just sort of hopefully hit some low hanging fruit and get De Villiers again.
De Villiers is in your 9. Yeah. There is a lot of these. So that's 5 down. So halfway. So a lot of these aren't. When you think about it, they are obvious. There's probably a couple that are quite sneaky. But
it's tricky. It's tricky though with like there. I'm thinking like has de Kock just had a good T20 World Cup and scored some big hundreds, and like a
Yeah,
few hundreds really would bump you up this sort of list.
yeah. So like if I talk about the English person,
Yeah,
like the person that's most suited of playing T20 cricket of all time is probably that person. That's sort of like
yeah. All right, I'll have a guess at the English end. Is it Butler? Joss Butler?
it is Butler. It
Yeah,
is Butler. So
it was going to be my first guess.
yeah. Yeah, so that's 6. So you
Yeah.
got what about your West Indians? I feel like whenever you're creating like the best T20 lineup of all time,
Yeah.
he's generally in it.
Oh. Yeah, we just did a big segment on how good the West Indies can be too, and I just felt that there's a lot of names. But have I got 2 lives left? Yeah.
You got 2 lives left. Yeah.
Is it Darren Sammy?
There's no way you actually thought it was Darren Sammy. There's no way.
No.
We just spoke about in the last in the 2016 World Cup. He made 8 runs,
isn't it?
It's definitely not. We'll come back to that one. We'll circle back.
Yeah,
we'll circle back. So that's so you got 4. We got 4 to go. So you got two Sri Lankans.
I've got 2 Sri Lankans.
You've got they're both right-handers. Both from they're not playing now, but they're from they're from the big era.
I'm going to say just Jai Wardner and Jai Wardner definitely is 1.
He's definitely 1. He's number 2.
And I'm down to 1 life, so
you can park it. You can park Sri Lanka for later if you want. What about your Australian?
The thing is, I've got 2 names there for the Sri Lankan, and if I don't say one, I'm going to get ridiculed again. The Aussie, like, does it just has to be David Warner, doesn't it?
It is.
Opens,
David Warner,
bats all the time.
Yeah, he's in 6. Yeah. So
Lovely.
you've got.
I've got the West Indian one too, by the way. It's Chris Gale, isn't it?
It is Chris Gale. Yeah, it is Chris Gale. That was definitely not Darren Sammy, and that's something that. Wow, that's something.
Why I had his name in my head. I think I was meaning to say Braithwaite because we talked about him, but for some reason had Sammy as. We talked about how poor he was, and somehow that got flipped into how good he was.
Just sort of brain play tricks on you.
Yeah, that's where I need Macron, because he would have just whipped out Gale there and got that done for me.
Yeah, it's tough for yourself. So you've got one Bangladeshi who was probably the best Bangladesh cricketer ever, and then you've got one more right-handed Sri Lankan batter who used to open the batting.
It's just, for me, Sri Lankan batter's got to be Dilshan, doesn't it?
It is Dilshan. Yeah. So you got one more. Bangladeshi, all-time great.
All-time great. Is it Iqbal?
Knobhead. It's not. It's not.
I tell you what.
Just fallen short. It's Shakib. I should have said all-time knobhead.
If you see, as I was saying my answer, I heard you say all-time knobhead, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's Shakib.
Yeah, I probably should have lived with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, well.
Happens.
Does happen.
That's right. There's always next week. So since the World Cup's barely sort of got off the ground, it's probably not too late. Should we chuck in some couple of future bets? Just have a look at some most runs, most wickets, and then I've got a hypothetical one at the end.
I'll go out on a limb and say I don't think any of the potential winners of those have played a game yet. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but that's why it's easier done. So, like for top batters, Kohli's he's the short favourite, $7.50. Butler $11. Travis Head, Jai Sawal, and Rohit Sharma at 12s. Surakumar Yadav at 13. Baba at 13. Salt 13. David Warner 15s. Mitchell Marsh and Conway at 17s, and then Johnny Bairstow at 19s. That's all I've got. Who do you think's going to get top run scorer, and then who do you like value wise?
I mean, it's just very, very hard to go past Kohli, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes the obvious answer is sort of staring you in the face.
Yeah. I'm just trying to top bet outright odds. Just trying to get the full list up, actually, so I've got it in front of me. Yeah, I mean, Coley, I don't hate just like a Sharma, just from a like, he could have a World Cup where he just
Mm.
goes bang. Um, I feel like these, you sort of want to pick someone who's going to bat well on a team that goes deep. Um,
Yeah.
so you sort of like, for me, you start to look at maybe your Aussies or your Aussies and your Indians. I think are going to be there or thereabouts. And
Yeah, I
someone who
looked
I
at
don't
Travis Head.
hate, yeah, Travis Head don't hate at all. I like down for a bit of value down the bottom though is M Marsh.
Yeah, well, he's
We've
going to
just
be batting
had
3, isn't he? So,
Yeah, we've just had the summer of Mitch Marsh, and he can whack it. And I think he sort of like could be suited if these wickets are a little bit lower and slower. He's just a big bison. Could sort of really go big. So yeah, I mean even 750 for Kohli's great odds. But yeah, if you want some actual value, I think he's 16 to 1 currently. I don't hate Mitch Marsh at all.
yeah, I like that. I like that for a value bet. Conway, I think it's not bad. If you think New Zealand's going to do well,
Mm.
I don't see them going that deep, as deep as the others. So I like the Mitchell Marsh one. Travis Head's interesting. He's in form, but the obvious one is always Kohli. Top bowlers. We've got Boomer at 7s. We've got Pat Cummins at 12, Stark at 12, Zampa at 13s, Chahal, Siraj, and Hazelwood at 17s, Bolt 19s, Shaheen and Joffer at 19s, and that's all I've got. So, I mean, I don't see how it's not Bumrah. Like, I know I think it's almost obvious. Like, he's just so much better than everyone. Like, it actually is a joke at this point. Like, he is, for all conditions, it doesn't matter if he's playing in West Indies or America, he is the best, but he is the most complete bowler in the world. And I don't see how provided that India go deep, and most likely they will, I can't see how he's not. But if it's not him, Jacko, who do you like for value?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think this World Cup could just be the like put their name back out there World Cup. You've got like uh, Archer sort of back in the mix. You've got
Really
Bumrah. He's been
interesting.
healthy for a little bit, but like him coming back from that injury, and this is probably his first big tournament since that. So yeah, you're looking at those sort of maybe like remember my name sort of options. But yeah, I'll go back to the Canary Yellow, well, as it should be the Canary Yellow.
The
And
Springbok green.
yeah, obviously, Mitch Marsh has some thoughts on what colour he wanted. Sort of if anyone saw that during the week, but
Yeah.
uh,
Lost his snap with Uganda.
yeah, but yeah, I don't hate Zampa again. Um, if these wickets are going to be anything like they've sort of shown, and they do start to take a bit of turn, um, a quality leg spinner especially against sort of bunnies. If he sort of plays a couple of the lower down teams, they might have no clue how to pick leg spin, and they're just going to start to slog it. And he could take a big bag against sort of your Omans, which can really bump you up that list. So I
Yeah.
don't hate Zampa at all. If you want
And
to
they
go
are
a spinner,
they're playing in the West Indies, so that they're probably going to be lower and slower. So yeah, I don't hate that at all. I'm interested in Archer. I think if he's right, it gets through the whole tournament. And if England are to go deep, and I think potentially they might, they got a point to prove, being the defending champions, but no one's really gives a fuck about them because they were terrible in the One Day World Cup. But I think Archer being back just adds another sort of layer. So if he's firing, I think that's interesting. But will he get through a whole tournament is yet to be seen, I suppose.
yeah, I think he was genuinely like right up there in terms of Boomer, and he burst onto the scene playing T20 cricket as a specialist. So yeah, he could be worth a little dabble, but I mean, Boomer's just probably going to be too good all tournament long.
100%. And last one, hypothetically, I couldn't find any odds on this one. Maybe we could make some odds up. 300. Will it be breached this tournament?
What's the top run scorers at the moment? It's about 280 odd, isn't it? 284 maybe?
Well, in T20, what is that in the IPL? They made about 287.
Yeah,
So
so quite
that's
a
the
bit.
IPL. So I don't know,
Yeah.
obviously different pitches and stuff, but
I
the
mean, if
teams
we
are
get
even in the IPL.
if we get another flat one in Dallas, I reckon no would be, let's say, $1.40, and yes is going to be out at like 3.30 maybe.
Oh, apparently it has been done, but that was Nepal versus Mongolia, so that doesn't count. So like
Yeah,
an
yeah. So
actual
real,
game.
real games.
Afghanistan 278 for 3 versus Ireland. I think that's two Test nations.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
legit. Um,
Okay, so
yeah.
if Aussie score 300 against Oman, are we saying that's all good, all good or no good?
Well, Australia are okay. It's a
Yeah,
World
true
Cup.
that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a World
I
Cup
don't know
game.
what Mongolia's are like. I mean,
I wonder where the kit ranks with the others.
send it through. Send it through. Anything else, Jacko? Should we wrap her up?
Uh, no, just obviously pretty keen to see the Mongolian career kit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that,
Someone send it through, please.
I think we've had a nice soft open. We've had, you know, host winning, some bit of excitement, onto some big games moving forward.
So the next games before we next record: Sri Lanka, South Africa, Afghanistan, Uganda, England, Scotland, Netherlands, Nepal, and India, Ireland. So we've got some big ones coming up. So tune in. That's us for episode number 1 of your favourite World Cup show. Again, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss another show. Twice a week, we're pumping out episodes highlighting the good, the bad, and the land of the free. We will catch you all next time.